What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with a brand new movie review, and today we are discussing a new drama by the name of 9 Days, which actually premiered at Sundance last year, and by the time this review is up, the film will be available today in theaters. I'm so excited to share my thoughts with you all about this film and let you know if it's worth checking out in this spoiler-free review. Before we break it all down, do me a favor and check me out on all my other social media accounts. If you all are new to the channel, well, welcome to the community. Consider subscribing to the channel, and while you all are at it, make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you can get the alert from when I drop new content. If you all enjoyed this spoiler-free review of 9 Days, well, make sure to like the video and share the video. It helps out the channel a lot, but I also appreciate the support. And in those comments, let me know, have you heard of this film? Were you excited for the film? And once you've seen it, whether it's in theaters or on VOD or whenever you're watching this review, what did you think about the film? Let's talk your pros, your cons, your thoughts on the direction, the story, the narrative, the performances. Were you disappointed by this film? Let's discuss it all in the comments below. So I remember hearing nothing but great things about this film when it premiered last year at the film festival. But for me personally, I didn't know anything about it except for who was in the film, and I was excited to see them come on screen for the first time. But I didn't read the synopsis, didn't watch a trailer. I wanted to go into it pretty cold. And I do that with, if you've been part of this community for a while, you know I do that a lot with a lot of independent films and TV shows. And I always strive to bring new independent things to this channel. And here we are discussing this independent film, 9 Days, starting off my positives. I love when a film challenges me, and I mean that in the best way possible. I love when a film, whenever I'm done watching a movie and I can take the questions that the film poses to its characters and apply that to my real life. And in this film, without diving too much in the synopsis, it's pretty simple when you hear about the story without diving too deep into it. You have a character by the name of Will, who his sole job is to interview new souls and see if they're worthy enough to go on and have a real life and live out their life. So very simple premise, but it's more than that, ladies and gentlemen. This film questions life, death, what it means to be special, what it means to appreciate the small things of life, questioning things about morality, what makes a person good, what makes a person bad, grief. It's just so many things that this film tackles, and I was just absolutely floored by it. I got to talk about the director and also the writer, who happens to be his directorial debut in Edson Oda. I can't believe this is his first film, because I thought this was maybe his fifth film, sixth film. He looks like a professional in what he was able to accomplish in this film. Again, this, as I kind of read that synopsis, it sounds like Soul, right, from Pixar, which is my favorite film last year. But it has the nuances of really hitting home the emotional beats of what makes someone special and what makes life special, and appreciating what life has to offer. And I thought what he was able to accomplish in his first time direction, it was just absolutely incredible, guys. I mean, the way he tackles this film, the way he puts the pieces to the puzzle together, the way he directs these incredible performances, which we'll talk about in a second, I was just absolutely impressed. I can't wait to see what he does next. I hope that this is a trend when he writes and directs his own projects. I think that this is a very special director, and I thought that this directorial debut was one of my favorites in the last few years, and we've had many great directorial debuts, and I thought this was one of them. I talked about his direction towards these great performances, and the entire cast is great. This is a stacked cast, and whether it be characters like Kane or Mike or Maria, or, you know, the other different various interviewees that we meet, these newborn souls, all of them were great. But the film, to me, is led by three main people that I was just completely in awe with. Starting off with Benedict Wong, who plays Keo, who works closely with Will, and their back and forth and their friendship, and kind of when they butt heads, and their conflict that they have, and how Keo's a lot different from Will, was great to see. But in particular with Benedict Wong, I've always been a fan of him as an actor, but what he brings to this role, and brings this grounded humanity to this role, and brings this conflict to Will, and sees how special another character is that we'll talk about here in a second. I thought that Benedict Wong was great. I thought that he had kind of the comic relief, because this is a pretty bleak film in a sense. So again, we're dealing with life and death and all that different stuff, but I thought that he brought some levity to the story and to his character. I thought he was great. But also, the lead of this film, my man Winston Duke, who, man, I'm still in awe of his career so far. He's been acting for about 7 or 8 years, but knowing that his first film was Black Panther, followed that up with Infinity War and obviously Endgame, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that Mark Wahlberg film that he was in, but in Us, of course. He is such a great actor, and in this role, he plays Will, this big, intimidating man who has an exterior, like a tough exterior, but inside, he's dealing with a lot. He's dealing with grief, and he has this secondary plot that involves a soul that he once picked, that he had a really good connection to. Something happens with that soul, and he's just trying to discover what exactly happened to this particular person that meant something to him, and learning about his backstory and how he was. Again, I don't want to dive too much into the plot, but learning his backstory is very fascinating and explains why he does and how he acts and the way he presents himself to others. And speaking of the way he presents himself to others, the interviews that he conducts with these newborn souls was just such, again, it poses the question to the audience. For example, if you're a police officer and you're apprehending someone that has a weapon on them, how would you react? How would you react to protecting your loved one, and at what cost? The questions, the way he posed the questions. There's a monologue that he has towards the third act of the film, which was just absolutely fantastic. Winston Duke continues to impress me. He continues to show me that he's one of the best up-and-coming actors working in Hollywood, and I was just absolutely in awe of his performance. But my favorite character, and I just have to say it now because I have such a big crush on Zazie Beetz. She's so beautiful, naturally beautiful. But putting that aside, I remember the first time I saw her in Atlanta as Vanessa, I just knew, oh, she's special. She has this, and her character goes by the name of Emma, who, again, they're newborn souls, and she brings this innocence to the role. She brings this childlike wonder. She challenges Will. She questions Will's methods, and the questions that he poses her, she throws it right back at her. And just the things that you learn about her as the film goes on, and see how unique and how special she is. And again, it's all about perspective. You can see we can all see something happen and have so many different perspectives of that same situation. And her perspective was just so filled with wonder and innocence, and just such a fascinating character. And the moments that she has in this film, and the moments she shares with the different interviewees, and the moments she has at the dinner table with her story, the way she delivers the lines, such a charming character, such a fascinating character. And Emma, like I said, was my favorite character in this entire film. So the direction, the writing, the performances were all A+ for me. Transitioning to the story without giving away too much of the plot, but just in particularly shining a light on the themes. The film makes you appreciate life. It makes you appreciate the small things. Having a hangout with your friends, riding a bike for the first time, drinking beer with your family and friends, going across the world, traveling. Just the little things in life that you come to appreciate that this film poses to you. And again, what makes you special? What is it inside of you that makes you unique? It's just so many other great themes throughout this. Morality, what makes a person good, what makes a person bad. Good decisions, bad decisions. There's so much you can digest and so much to uncover with this film. I don't want to give too much away because I want you all to discover it like I did. But I really enjoyed the narrative and what the film had to offer. And I can go on and on and on about the cinematography and all that stuff. But let's transition to my criticisms. It did take a little bit to get into the film's narrative. Again, you're dealing with souls and life and death and what makes people special, morality and all that stuff. So it took a little bit to get into. But I will say there are moments. This film clocks in about 2 hours. I feel like there were scenes that meandered and kind of carried on. Where, again, the interviewees are watching television screens and taking notes and seeing what makes life unique and what makes life special and what you can add to life. But I feel like some of those moments could have been slimmed down. There are about 10 minutes of credits. I think this film would have been more cohesively put together and just a little bit more tight of a script if it was maybe slimmed off some of those scenes that weren't necessary. But that's just a kind of a minor thing. I will say, and this is just for me personally, again, comparing this to a film like Pixar where they explore how the souls find the bodies and all that stuff and how they move on to the real world, I was so fascinated by this idea of, again, meeting a new soul and what makes a soul special. I just wish we would have maybe learned more about the world building and spent a little bit more time in that narrative. Again, that wasn't the purpose of the film, but me personally, like I said, selfishly, I wish we could have spent a little bit more time in that world and just kind of learn all the minutia of how all that stuff works. But those are really only my criticisms that come to mind. So before I give you all my overall thoughts and give you my final score, if you stuck around to this point of the video, I appreciate you. Just a friendly reminder to like the video, share the video, comment below, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Overall, 9 Days is a film that challenges you. 9 Days is a film that makes you think about life and appreciate the small things in life. 9 Days delivers one of the best directorial debuts I've seen in a while, delivers an incredible performance by our main three leads, Benedict Wong, Zazie Beetz, and Winston Duke. This is a film that will make you want to watch it again. This is a film that you can discover new things within within it, and the nuances of the performances, the nuances in the story. I was absolutely floored by this film. With all that being said, I'm going to give this film 9 Days a 4.8 out of 5, and that's just based on one viewing. I plan on revisiting this film, and I will not be surprised if this lands in my top 3 favorite films this year. It's a special film, and if you guys get the opportunity to see it in theaters, once it comes out on VOD, do yourself a favor and watch this film. You won't be disappointed. I will say it probably won't be for everyone because it is a slow burn, but if you're someone that appreciates a great story, great performances, great nuances, challenges you to question what makes your life special and question what makes a soul special, I think this will be the film for you all. So that's just my thoughts. If again, I really enjoyed this film and I can't wait to revisit it again. But if you stuck around, again, guys, just a friendly reminder, if you've been watching this video for this entire time, thank you. Again, like, share, leave your thoughts in the comments once you've seen the film. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell. That way you don't miss any of my other content. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Hope you're staying safe, and we'll see you on the next video.